Hello. Hello. Can you guys hear me okay? Oh my god, this computer's going crazy. Hold on, hold on. Hang on, hang on, hang on. What the hell is going on? Okay, Chad, you know what I did? I updated the thing. It forced a restart, right? It forces a restart. The restart forces all the Windows updates. All of the Windows updates started restarting. Oh, wait, I'm angry. I didn't. It just starts angry. That's, well, I am angry, but just not at you guys. Okay, so you update one thing, that one thing asks for a restart, right? That restart sets off all the Windows restarts, all the Windows updates. Then it says 30%, blah, 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 blah. It keeps updating. And then, okay, you reached 100% update. Then it restarts again. It's been updating for like 5 minutes, driving me crazy. No, well, that's my computer doing computer things. You know, you got apps and some of those apps need updates. And you're like, okay, I'll update this one app. Bam, restarts your computer. Restarts, sets off a whole bunch of other updates. It was driving me insane, but I got it working. Everything's working now. Everything's good. We got a lot of news to cover today. Things have been happening. Things have been happening. Now, I want to test something. Make sure this works. All right. Let me just take a typical. Let me see something here. Because we had a little bit of audio problem yesterday, and I want to make sure we don't have that today. And to do that, I want to take a clip that I had sent Armin and Ollie and see if it works here, because I also want you guys to see it. I think you guys would enjoy it. All right, here we go. Present. Hey, hey, hey. Why is that on speakers? What is going on with this? It's not flipping between toggle. Okay. Why isn't it toggling though? Okay, I'm on the monitor. 1 second, please. Why aren't you toggling? Why isn't this toggling? Going. Can you guys hear that? Give me 1 second. I have to reset the audio. Oh, that's good to know. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Okay. I think that worked. Can you guys hear this window? Like, well, no, you guys can't hear it because I dropped it down. Because I was having problems with this yesterday, so I tried to fix it today. Oh, fuck, this is wrong. Let me go on main. Let me go on here and switch this to main, but put remove this. Why am I not there? Oh, okay. Show on stage, at the stage. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
That on them, the Arabs were, quote, stunned. Another source tells Axios that they ended
Can you
up telling
guys
the
hear
president
that?
this, quote, we are with you on this deal. And if over the weekend, the
Can you guys hear it?
president called the Arabs and said he's only going to sign the deal and reopen the strait if they join the Abraham Accords.
So, what Trump is saying here is if every country in the Persian Gulf does not sign the Abraham Accords, it's staying closed. Did you guys hear it? I'm going to play it again.
Over the weekend, the president called the Arabs and said he's only going to sign the deal and reopen the strait if they join the Abraham Accords. That means Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Egypt, Pakistan, Turkey, Jordan, all normalize relations with Israel. Now, when Trump dropped that on them, the Arabs were, quote, stunned. Another source tells Axios that they ended up telling the president this, quote, we are with you on this deal, and if it doesn't work, we will be with you too. Now, we're pinning the whole Arab world against the Iranians. Trump just turned the Abraham Accords into a trap. It means if the Iranians and their proxies mess with Israel, they're messing with the whole rest of the Arab world. And for us, that means we don't have to be the Middle East babysitters. Over the weekend,
What do you guys think about that? Okay, I see you guys saying the sound is good. I can see your Russell Shadwell says you can now see my answer. I can see your answer. Back here, you want to see it? See, I can see it. What do you mean you can't see it? There might be a delay. There's always a delay. I don't know why there's always a delay, but there's a delay. I don't know if that's set in the StreamYard. There is always a delay. Hello, Amberly. Hello. But this would make waiting a tactic. Do you understand the difference that makes? Like they can talk their hearts out, but that would say, okay, so why aren't we hitting them? Because waiting is the tactic, and it's a tactic to get everyone to sign the Abraham Accords. It's a different perspective. It makes things less retarded. Can I say it that way? If this is the real deal, I'm going to say it again. Remember, he said, we got time.
Over the weekend, the president called the Arabs and said he's only going to sign the deal and reopen the strait if they join the Abraham Accords. That means Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Egypt, Pakistan, Turkey, Jordan, all normalize relations with Israel. Now, when Trump dropped that on them, the Arabs were, quote, stunned. Another source tells Axios that they ended up telling the president this, quote, we are with you on this deal, and if it doesn't work, we will be with you too. Now, we're pinning the whole Arab world against the Iranians. Trump just turned the Abraham Accords into a trap. It means if the Iranians and their proxies mess with Israel, they're messing with the whole rest of the Arab world. And for us, that means we don't have to be the Middle East babysitters. Over the weekend, the president called the Arabs and said,
I think that's important. I think that's, oh, I accidentally, sorry, hit that two, like the two, this is two, this is three, 2, 3, 2, 3. If I ever hit 2, it kind of switches out on me. I'm glad all of you guys, okay, you guys are saying hi to each other. I'm not jealous. I'm glad. You guys got like a good group going there. You guys welcome each other. Chat, say hi to chat. Chat, this is chat. Chat me chat. So I'm glad the chat is over here saying hi to each other. But I think this is good news. Like I just sent a message to a message to Armin saying, hey, you predicted this 2 months ago. Because what he's saying right now is something that Armin said a long time ago. Shayin is saying, hey, chat. What's up, chat? What's up? That's if you're old. If you're really old, like me, you know what what's up means. Oh my God. If a doctor says that, you got to take it seriously. Love your logical and no bullshit analysis, says Dr. Robert. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Like, you guys got to, first of all, get along with Israel. Oh my God, I'm watching myself. Get along with Israel. And you have to start. What is this? This isn't my, I'm not subscribed. Oh, here it is. Okay, I hit home instead of subscriptions. Yes, I watch sci-fi slop. I watch a lot of sci-fi slop and some isekai slop. I also like isekai slop. Judge me. Go ahead, judge me. I like a feel-good story. So what? These cooling tricks, just wasting water. Sometimes the stuff that China says is just ridiculous. I like this channel when I'm looking for China information. I watch China Observer. Also, Lay's Real Talk. She's fantastic. Let me see what else we have here. I might just go to this is a great channel here. Ali Samani. Fox isn't say I watch this guy for I like reaction slop too. Judge me. Go ahead. That's fine. I like me a good reaction. Rosy Faces Reality. I think these two, they got two on here that are liberals. Go to Fox. Because there's been some important things going on in Colombia. Fox. me put Colombia. En marcha los esfuerzos de ayuda atrás. This is in Spanish. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Now, I am watching this, but I'm watching it for, oh my God, they don't got snippets. Here's a snippet. Okay, I'm watching this as a reaction. So YouTube, you know, I'm reacting to this. This is a news information. And here we go. This is Pete Hegseth.
Also proud to announce that Colombia will join the ACCC, becoming the 19th member. And through the newly inaugurated...
That's 19th country to join the U.S. against the narco traffickers. Okay? That's a lot of people joining against narcos. And I'm going to tell you something. These narcos, they're kind of trained by the IRGC. These narcos have a lot of training on manipulating the government, trafficking people, setting up traps, like selling drugs. So they're very much tied to authoritarians because socialism is the best way. I had look. I had a little bit of trouble with problem making food today, so I just ordered pizza, and I'm having a little bit of pizza and Pepsi. I prefer Coca-Cola, but I didn't have a choice. Okay, we have a chat here, Monkey. I have a friend that was in Medellin in a high-rise hotel when the earthquake hit. He made it out okay. You know what, Musehound? I'm happy to hear that. And I found it surprising that despite Colombia being very closely tied to socialist regimes, they did not have as much Chinese construction, so their buildings felt better. Like, I was so surprised that I was even incredulous. I was having a fight with Grok, but that was a fight I lost, at least in the long term. I'm sure there may be one or two, but not at the level of Venezuela. Oh, what do we have here? Jasmine giving us some jewels. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate you. But yeah. Yes, Justin Padino, we do bottle RC Cola here in Malta. Malta is like malt liquor, but for children. It's delicious. If you ever want some malt liquor for children, get that Malta. Very good. Let me see if I can find it for you. That's what it looks like. See that? When you see that, that's that Malta. These are the old brands. I don't know these two. This one maybe. It was made by Compañía Cervecera Puerto Rico. The original was made by the beer makers. Said we need something for kids, and we made Malta. This shit is delicious. Like, I should be like, oh my God, they're getting kids used to beer. Nah, man, I don't care. It's fucking delicious. This is backwards, but that's like, oh my God, it's so good. So if you have a bodega, tell them you want to try Malta. Malta, some people know. Some people know. But yeah. So let's get back to it.
Becoming the 19th member. And through the newly inaugurated president, as our president likes to say, President El Tigre, Colombia has already requested of the Department of War join Colombia in its fight against narco-terrorism, authorizing joint military operations to destroy terrorists and terror networks. Thank you very much. We will never relinquish our absolute right to defend ourselves from threats to our safeties and our citizens, of my country and of your countries. We answer only to our own citizens and our own constitutions.
He's like basically saying like we answer to our citizens and our constitutions. So this applies to like the Colombian president answers to his people and his constitution and so on and so forth for everyone else.
Not unelected international bureaucrats. That's why I strongly encourage every ACCC member to leave the ICC and reject their attempts to rob your governments and your courts of your sovereignty.
All right,
Yes,
Europe,
because-
World War III is happening. What do we do?
Okay. First things first. Let's take over India. The hell? Well, I have just one idea. Have we considered calling them?
Please don't call them.
Oh, he.
Okay. Don't okay. This is a joke about Canada and war. And these people, like you meet Canadians, super polite people. You don't want to go to war with them. I'm going to get stuck on shorts if I keep going. So I'm not going to do that. Coca-Cola used to be, okay, so we got some fun facts here. Coca-Cola used to be made with cocaine. Yes. And cola nut, when people around the world drank Coca-Cola, they got a cocaine buzz and thought of America. I mean, it's not good marketing now, but I imagine back then. It's fantastic. The Donroe Doctrine is in full effect. Yes. The Donroe Doctrine is in effect. So, okay. This is a bad time to get a drug boat. Let me see if I want to let you guys see him when he shows up. And you can see him land. Is that El Tigre? He could be president one day. I don't know. I think he could pull it off. I could see it. Like I've been saying, Rubio Hexeth 2028. I don't even want Vance in the picture. I want Vance to retire. Please retire. Okay, we have something here. This is an executive order on birthright citizenship. I'm trying to see if I got a shorter version of this because this seems pretty long. Luigi Mangione. You guys know this guy? He shot like an exec in New York. I like her. I think she had a baby and she decided, you know what? It was a nice job, but I got money and, it is what it is. The thing about Live now is that they cover a lot of stuff that's not really American news and not really short. This is short and sweet. You see that? Darlene Graham? That's Lindsey Graham's sister. That's right. She looks like him a little bit.
All right, as we talk about here on another key primary night, we do have a race call of sorts in South Carolina as Darlene Graham will advance to a runoff in 2 weeks' time. I do want to put up this here on Live Now from Fox from the AP talking about this race call. Darlene Graham, the sister of the late Senator Lindsey Graham, advances to a Republican special primary runoff that
She's gonna win because what's happening right now is there was 3 of them, and because there was 3 of them, the last 2 that are left have to basically go again.
coming in 2 weeks' time on the 26th of August. As you can see, the votes, the check mark next to Darlene Graham's name, 33% right now, a sizable advantage over the 2 members of Congress with 37% of the estimated votes counted at this point. And really now just the big question, who will advance alongside her? Who will be on the ballot in 2 weeks' time? Will it be the Congressman Russell Fry or the Congressman Ralph Norman? Those are the 2. We do talk about Mark Sanford a little bit as well, the former governor. He is right now currently in 4th place, but it'll be likely either Norman or Fry come 2 weeks' time in this special election, this runoff to replace Lindsey.
The runoff, I think they're gonna run it pretty soon. I think they said 2 weeks. In about 2 weeks, we're going to have a final decision.
Graham, his stalwart tenure in South.
And because of who she is, and because they're Republicans, it's going to be less mudslinging. It's going to be cleaner.
Carolina. So that is a big race here on Live Now from Fox for what we might expect. President Trump has endorsed, really boosted Darlene Graham after she was appointed by the Republican governor, Henry McMaster, to fill her brother's vacant seat. So these 2, Russell Fry or Ralph Norman, potentially up and trying to join her on that ballot in a couple weeks.
Wait a minute. Darlene Graham will win 56 to 44. That's like so precise that I had to stop. I'm like, God damn. Are you betting this on Kalshi? Are you on Polymarket? Because that's pretty precise. Okay, Dominic Spencer has like a pitch from left field. Vance Mandami, 2028. What do you guys think about that? Oh, that's Polymarket. You see? I knew it. I knew it. Like I was like, wait a minute, that's kind of specific.
And we'll see what the voters in South Carolina have on their minds, because this will be the 3rd.
Okay, but it's funny. Like you're joking, but it's a good joke because Vance is gone so far. Do you know what Vance is doing right now? He's telling Ukraine to stop bombing Russian ships. What the fuck is wrong with him? What the fuck? I'm gonna verify that, but I'm surprised.
Such a vote they will have to cast in just a matter of 3 months' time. So voter fatigue going to be a thing, but Darlene Graham, the Graham name, saying she didn't get a handout. She wasn't just boosted into this position. Some questions, though, of her experience moving forward. All right, I'm Andy Mack here on Live Now from Fox. Potentially we'll have some comments from Darlene Graham.
We're going to have to be looking in on Vance, see what's up. Want to thank Fox for that update. We're here reacting to it. Not trying to replace that content. Vance, Ukraine. Vance weird request to Kiev. Ukraine's wings clipped. U.S. intervened. Like, I want to see like a bigger name. Washington Examiner. Is the Washington Examiner credible? All right, let me know if you guys can hear this. Is the Washington Examiner a credible news source?
It's a credible source with a clear conservative slant. Independent raters like Media Bias Fact Check call it right-center biased and mostly factual, with high credibility overall, and no failed fact checks in the last 5 years. All Sides rates it lean right with high confidence, and Ad Fontes gives it a right-skewing bias score, but generally reliable for news reporting, though some opinion pieces dip lower. Like most outlets, it has a
Now, let me
viewpoint.
ask you a
Owned.
question. What does the
Sure,
right
shoot.
consider them right wing?
The right generally sees the Washington Examiner as solidly conservative, but more in the traditional establishment lane than hard right populist. It's owned by a conservative
All right, I
billionaire,
get it.
runs a
We're going to check this out. All right, this is the Washington Examiner. YouTube, we're not trying to take advantage of this or restream it. We're just reviewing it and reacting.
Vice President J.D. Vance reportedly demanded Ukraine cease its attacks on oil tankers trafficking through Russian ports in the Black Sea, citing disruptions to the world energy markets. The vice president spoke with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on July 31st, with a readout from the Ukrainian side noting that the two, quote, discussed the consequences of Russia's war for global markets. A report from the Financial Times asserts that it was during this call that Kyiv was pressured to abandon attacks on non-Russian tankers. The U.S. Department of State previously flagged concerns with Ukrainian naval campaigns on the Black Sea in February. State that Kyiv was pressured to abandon attacks on non-Russian tankers. The U.S.
Non-Russian tankers? He's coming in chat. Can you guys hear it? Were you guys able to hear what the Washington Examiner said? He's coming in low for me. I'm going to try to up the volume a little.
Consequences of Russia's war for global markets. A report from the Financial Times asserts that it was during this call that Kyiv was pressured to abandon attacks on non-Russian tankers. The U.S.
If they're non-Russian tankers, why the hell are you attacking non-Russian tankers? Oh, because they're non-Russian tankers leaving Russian ports. Is that why? Does that make sense to you guys?
U.S. Department of State previously flagged concerns with Ukrainian naval campaigns on the Black Sea in February. If Ukraine is taking cues from the White House on which targets are off limits, it appears that Russian military vessels and infrastructure remain fair game. Ukraine's campaign in the Black Sea could be bolstered by the EU's recently adopted policy allowing countries to seize and sell Russian oil being illicitly transported by Russian ships. The European Union and United Kingdom have seized 5 tankers of Russian oil thus far in 2026, though 3 detained by France were eventually released. Russian President.
You see, this was what went to my mind. Like maybe they're shadow fleet tankers. That's what went through my mind, because why the hell? A little cold in here. That's what I was thinking. It's got to be shadow tankers, because why would you shoot tankers? But like some people would say, look, I don't care if you buy from Ukraine, if you buy from Russia, I'm shooting you. If that's the game you're playing, I get it, because that's the game I want to play on Iran's Persian Gulf trade. Because what Iran is doing is they're not getting supplied by the Hormuz Strait, but they're still getting supplied by cross-strait shipping. So they're not blockaded. They're still getting, like, if it was a blockade, it would be a blockade.
Vladimir Putin is warning that such seizures would amount to piracy. Putin threatened on Wednesday to take similar actions against Western nations in retaliation whenever possible if the policy is carried out.
Also, that was solid. A little low. Oh, I know that guy. A bit of a monkey. Jumps out sometimes, but that's fine. Putin looks tired and puffy. I bet he does. I had some things that I had saved on Twitter that I want to check out. Someone liked my video. Thank you very much, chat. Now I want to go to my bookmarks.
Encourage every ACCC member to leave the ICC.
Yes, leave the ICC, the International Criminal Court. We got Ruby over there looking like what?
And reject their attempts to rob your governments and your courts of your sovereignty. I know as a soldier, I swore an oath to the Constitution, not some fake and illegitimate international court. And in these efforts, we've already shown that deterrence works. Operation Southern Spear is a model.
Okay, we have a comment here from Filthy Angry Irish Peasant. Most Gulf states' oil is going to be in underground pipelines going through Syria and Turkey, ending up in Haifa. Then Europe, India, and China are simmering. We have talked about that. We saw that they're adding a second pipe in Saudi Arabia. There's going to be a pipe in Iraq. I mean, this is getting piping hot. I'm telling you. They're putting pipes all over the place.
Model that can be and should be followed across our hemisphere by each of you. That's why I strongly encourage every ACCC member to leave the ICC and reject their attempts to rob your governments and your courts of your sovereignty. I know as a soldier.
Okay, he kind of went through that. Look at this. Look at this. Breaking. This is what I want to see more of. This is what I want to see. Okay. FBI Director Kash Patel just announced that NGO Southern Poverty Law Center's Director of Intelligence, Heidi Bayrich, has been arrested and charged with the following crimes: wire fraud, conspiracy to submit false statements to a federally insured bank, conspiracy to commit concealment money laundering. I voted for this law and order. This is Eric Doherty, like personally, yes, arrest these motherfuckers. Bayrich played a primary role in this scheme from at least 2007 to 2023. Bayrich allegedly helped orchestrate fraudulent activity worth approximately $2.4 million, conspiring with the SPLC to defraud donors, obtaining money through these materially false and fraudulent pretenses and omissions to pay leadership of their very violent organizations. They claim to the very violent organizations they claim to support. Okay, this is the important part. Materially false and fraudulent pretenses and omissions. Okay. Obtaining money through materially false and fraudulent pretense. That's fraud. That's basically wire fraud. And omissions to pay the leadership of the very organizations the SPLC claimed to oppose. Okay. Now I make this government grant. I'm putting aside $1 billion. And this $1 billion is to foment good neighboring and people feeling good and everybody getting along. And I need people to help me. Show me where the problem is and how you're solving it. But if I want that money, I can just make up the problem and show myself as the solution. So what the SPLC was doing was donating big money to the Ku Klux Klan. And when the Ku Klux Klan had a rally, they would take pictures to get the funds and say, there's a big problem here. Let me solve it. Yes, the SPLC maintained the KKK and National Alliance. They paid men to literally create a white devil boogeyman. Yes. This is what I want. This is the kind of fraud that goes on in Minnesota for healthcare, and in LA, and in education with all these learning centers. I love this news. Breaking days after being inaugurated, Colombia's new license President Abdel de Priela has just authorized joint military operations. Parents can now sue states if they don't allow their children to opt out of vaccines by using religious exemptions. If you can sue the school, that really stops them. They don't want to be sued. Yeah, these people want abortions. They really, really want abortions after 24 weeks with limited exception, and this set off to take effect in 90 days. Okay, removes gestational limit. It used to be 24 weeks. Now there's no limit. 9-month abortion. What do you think about a 9-month abortion? Is that murder? What do you guys think? That's got to be murder. If legalized abortion right up to birth, yes. Look, let me see how I can put this. This is 24 weeks. This is what they want. This is what the law used to be. The law used to be you can kill this baby. Telling me that's not a living thing? Because I know a lot of women like to say, well, it's not really a baby. Look at that. You're gonna tell me at 28 that's not a real human? That's not a living being? That's not a human? Is that what you're saying? I know women really like abortions, but they hate this video because it makes them responsible for their actions. Yeah, you're gonna tell me oh, it wasn't alive. It's not a baby. Really?
Yeah, and then take it out.
Really? Is that what you're gonna tell yourself?
Yeah. I didn't feel confident, with my first ones.
That's not a human? That's a human being.
Should I Mom to carry you a few minutes? Smile ticker.
Smiley ticker.
Smile.
Hello.
Lily smile too.
That's a beautiful baby.
I like ice cream.
This is 24 weeks. This is 24 weeks. This is 24 weeks. The law replaces the state's previous general restriction on abortion after. You couldn't do 25. You couldn't do 25, but you could do this. I'm saving this. I'm saving this because a lot of people like to say it's not a real baby. It's not a baby. It's not a baby. It fucking is a baby. It's not a baby. It fucking is a baby, goddammit. Look at it. Look at her.
I like a
That was already alive. And there's a lot of examples. And just because it was small doesn't mean it's not going to grow up to be a beautiful human child. And some people might say, okay, but they're Democrats. They're going to have Democrat children. Okay, I understand that you hate Democrats enough to not want them to want them to remove themselves from the gene pool. I understand that sentiment. But it's hard for me to share it. Because you know what? You know what's one of the things that made me like generally not want a lot of alcohol, although I have drunk, like I had my teen years where I did drink, but I was very always afraid of being addicted, having a father that was an addict. Like sometimes the most right-wing people are raised by left-wing people. So you don't know if a future Marco Rubio was in one of those wombs. These crackheads. This is like James O'Keefe is uncovering some stuff.
I ain't worried about no two. This is 20.
If you see here, you've got two different absentee ballots under your name.
That's illegal, right?
That's illegal. It's against the law. Yeah. Oh shit.
You put it. You scrape one of them off or something?
Can I scrape it off?
OMG has discovered duplicate absentee ballot return envelopes in Detroit, Michigan, with shockingly different signatures. So we visited voters who may have been affected to interview them on.
You see, he's going up there and like doing the work. Like when there's election fraud and the Democrats, there's no fraud.
Michigan's primary day, August 4th.
But it's your signature is on both of these.
Okay, then what?
And it was
Mistake then. If they sent me, they must have sent me too.
They must have made a mistake and sent you too.
Yeah, disregard it. Don't bother me no more.
Oh, she slammed the door. Myrtle Harvey, the voter, admitting the city of Detroit has made a mistake, sent her two, which she filled out.
One of the addresses on a duplicate absentee ballot return envelope led us to an abandoned building.
The local police told us that this is an abandoned building. One was stamped as received September 8th. Hello.
They're like, hey,
do you guys know if this is an abandoned building?
Yeah.
When's the last time people lived here? You just drank here?
And many of the voters reacted to our questions with hostility.
2020 election, do you remember that?
What about?
What about it? It says September 26, 2020, and then October 3rd, 2020.
I ain't worried about no two. This is 26.
This is 2026.
Yeah, well, what the fuck is the 2020 got to do with it?
What the fuck does 2020 have to do with it?
Go, get off my porch.
Get off your property.
Get the fuck up.
Okay. You'll notice Margaret here. Look at the M there. On the other M, look at the M there.
You see that? Look at those signatures. That's not the same fucking signature. No fucking way.
I'm not a handwriting
expert. That is not the same signature at all.
And it appears as though nobody's lived here for a few years. And you can see this is not a stable place to step. My Nome Price's name was listed twice. You can't tell me? Should I just want to see, was that a mistake?
They probably sent her 2 ballots and she just signed them, I guess. I don't know. I mean, what's that mean?
You can see we got the cars over.
You got to tell them. That means they cheated.
Over there where the rims were being looked at. These guys are staring at us.
Okay, Mario, I think you're talking to us about a previous topic, but I want to hear you out. I hear you 100% and don't want them to do that. I only think that their decisions take away from the concept of survival of the fittest. They'll end up aborting healthy children and later on take their chances on a baby that most likely is much more heavily influenced by chemicals on the body of the mother and father possesses through gametes. It's just more health risk with age. I mean, but look at Stephen Hawkins. He didn't look super healthy, but he was a fucking genius. Like sometimes the body traps a mind that's brilliant, right? Like I don't want them to do it, but you know. There's the Hermit King likes to say this is a problem that's solving itself. They're chemically castrating themselves. They're aborting their children. Soon there's going to be no leftists left because they're self-destroying. And the right is reproducing. And I understand that. I still don't like it. I still can't condone it.
All right, we're just trying to make sure there's no fraud. All right, we're leaving. I can't hear what he's saying. The car's on. Can you turn
from pointing from my house? Do you want me to get the dog?
That's a pit bull. Yeah, you don't wanna do that. Under President Trump, Secretary Tubio's leadership, Department of State has revoked 175,000 visas. We went over the reasons. And yeah. No longer, this is Caroline Levitt. Thank you, President Trump. She must be super happy because she just had a baby. And that baby is not going to be 72 potential number of doses, not vaccines. I don't give a fuck if it's a dose of a vaccine. It's an injection. And it says 72 injections. Oh my God. Misses the key point. Argumentative. No, not needed. Other? Yeah, this has nothing to do with the central point. 72 is the potential number of doses, not vaccines. It says injections. It doesn't say vaccines anywhere there. I can't show that. I don't want to. In major text sent by Dr. Fauci, confirmed he privately said the second COVID vaccine dose could be associated with miscarriage in the first trimester. We have his phone. This major news, Anthony Fauci, in a text exchange. Fauci is talking about the fact that the second dose creates a greater cytokine storm that could have an impact, increased miscarriages in the first trimester. Lock Fauci up. Yes, I agree with that sentiment. I think this lady here is having a baby. And we saw the post from Valentina Gomez. She's fantastic. Love her. These people are retarded. White women on the left are turning to COVID booster shots into a trend to support Dr. Fauci. They're lining up for more doses, bringing their kids along, and farming it as standing with Dr. Fauci while mocking RFK Jr. Like, I have a lot of women in my chat. Women, what do you think about these women? Like, I want to get it from you. What do you guys think about this shit? I'm gonna wait because I know there's a little bit of a delay. What a piece of crap, mom. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so a cytokine storm causes massive inflammation. Yeah. What doing that to kids is probably like, why are they like this? You guys are women. Women, why are women like this? Is it because they never got married? What is their problem? Is it because they got divorced and they regretted it? It's because they're too much of a pack animal and too tied to their pack of leftists? What's going on with these women? What the hell?
Surveillance video.
Yeah, these judges need to be sent to prison. Especially, like, notice it's always women. Oh, they killed this guy. He burned the Quran and they killed him. Because, have you ever heard of anybody getting murdered because he burned the Bible? Nope. Dude's basically a martyr. This is Pete Hegseth. I'm gonna like this because Colombia has officially joined the America Pact, America's Countercultural Coalition, A3C. Breaking bombshell files just declassified by the Trump administration finds that the deep state had 14 informants on Biden's Ukrainian corruption scandal, but secretly ran an effort to dismiss everything as disinformation. So 14 people were warning. Filthy Angry Irish Peasant is telling us that those women have a lot of indoctrination. The spy agencies with the FBI formed the list along with political lines and marked Democrats, including Biden, as targets of Russian disinformation. And they designated GOP officials as conduits. Bro, these people need to go to jail. The reason I get mad is because these people don't get arrested. They don't get arrested. It pisses me. And you know what? I'll give it to Patel. He's doing something.
The weapon was a remote operated machine gun smuggled into the country in pieces and fired from Israel.
Yeah, I want to see this.
tardes, queridos amigos periodistas. Gracias por comparecer a esta cita. Tenemos información importante para todo el país. Muchas gracias. Primero quiero actualizarles.
This is going to be about the earthquake.
I do not think that children have the developmental capacity or worldly experience to make decisions like this that are very adult in nature, because this is not just a cosmetic change that these interventions cause to the body. I didn't know how much it would mean for me to lose my ability to breastfeed and potentially my ability to have children at the time that I was allowed to go through this.
You know what they do? Do you guys know how this works? You guys have any idea? They did that to this girl when she was very young. And maybe a little bit online. They say, oh, she tried cutting your hair short. And if she cuts it short, oh my God, you look great. Like that clothes is made for the patriarchy. You know, you don't have to show them your body. Try to dress more. You know, don't dress for them, dress for you. So she starts wearing baggy clothes. Oh my God. And they start like affirming her that she doesn't have to, if she doesn't feel like a woman today, she doesn't have to. And they give her more likes and more likes. And the school gives her more attention and more privileges. That kind of thing. And they take advantage of people that are maybe a little autistic, maybe they're a little bit on the spectrum. So she fell for that. And she started taking hormones, and she had top surgery. And then she realized this was a horrible mistake. And she's kind of angry about not being able to ever breastfeed, losing the feeling that she had, because it's a very sensitive area and it's not the same after surgery. So she had to undergo that. And the doctors are panicking because, number one, that whole industry is going to fall. Number two, if the children that went through this can start suing the parents and the doctors, ooh, it's going to be rough.
Because I still very much was a child myself. I was still growing up. No child can consent to being sterilized.
They can't even get tattoos.
No child can consent. Did you hear Chloe there? Heartbreaking and necessary testimony from a woman who transitioned to a male as a child and then transitioned back. This as the...
No one, the left hates few people more than a detransitioner.
The Trump administration is now cutting off federal aid, Medicaid funding for sex change procedures and hormones for children. President
Amberly says, parents who put their children through this are evil. I would put them in jail. I would straight up jail them.
Truth Social to weigh in on the historic decision.
What's that, sex? You're going to say, well, you know, if you can, because this is a very sexual thing. Are you going to say that they can consent to sex? Like, you got to put these people in jail. That's what you would do.
We are not going to pay for our innocent children to undergo these barbaric surgeries and practices, which result in unthinkable and irreversible harm to their young bodies. Dozens of U.S. hospitals have already ended this so-called gender-affirming care, and we expect many more to follow. Just think about all of the young, innocent, and perhaps confused children who will be spared.
You know what? You know who should be angriest? The L, the G, and the B. Why can't you just be gay? Maybe you're just gay. Do we have to cut his dick off? Maybe he just likes dick. Maybe he's just gay. They're just cutting off a whole bunch of. They're cutting off lesbian boobies and gay peepees. Maybe they're. I don't know. Like that's your best case scenario. Because some of them don't even have sexual thoughts. You're just being groomed. But let's say they do. They're a little bit older. They're a little bit farther along. Just for argument's sake, they're a little, and they do have an attraction. What's going to happen to a little lesbian or a little gay boy these days? Like, he's old enough to kind of know what he likes. Like, I knew I liked boobies, and very early in high school, I would say, in middle school, even, right? I knew what I liked, right? But let's say you have a young boy or a young girl that does have that preference or has developed that preference. And it's not like what happened to Ricky Martin. Like Ricky Martin, when he was in Menudo, his managers forced him to dress like a girl and abused him, right? That's when you got groomed into it. You got forced into it. But it's nothing like that. Let's pretend it's nothing like what happened to Ricky Martin. Let's pretend you're just a regular kid and that's what you like. Do you know the difference of a person that grows up gay and the torture they go through if they were just gay, but now they don't have a penis? Just let them be gay. Like, I'm a Christian, but I can't judge that. It would be satanic for me to judge what a sin is. I know, like, according to my book, like, that's not kosher. Right? But you know what else isn't kosher? Me judging sin. I don't judge them. I just say, hey, as long as you're consenting adults, I don't care. I'm going to pray for you. But I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to judge you as an evil person. You know what I can judge? Theft. Steal property. Steal health by harming people, like stabbing, shooting. Steal life through murder. Steal sex through rape. I can judge those things because that's theft. You can judge theft. Judging sin? What am I, God? Can't do that. That's against our faith. Can't judge sin because we're all gonna fuck up. We can't judge theft. No stealing sex. No stealing property. Don't hurt people. No stealing health. And don't steal life. No murder. That's it. No, you can't judge sin. You're not allowed to judge sin. That's why there is a judgment day, and only God judges on judgment day. You can disapprove. You can say, I don't think you should do that. In my opinion, that's a bad route. You should not judge a person by his sins. Yeah. Exactly, Dominic. Exactly. They're like, this is a horrible thing that they're doing to these kids. Like, I'm not gonna be like, hey, hooray, you're gay. But I do gotta say, if I wasn't a Christian and I was just a gay man or a lesbian, if I was a lesbian, that seems more plausible as much as I like women. If I was a lesbian and these people were making it, basically sterilizing me and cutting off my boobs or doing that to children, I would be so pissed. If I was gay and I was thinking, these people are just chemically castrating and mutilating gay boys. I used to be one of them. They would have cut my pee-pee off if they caught me as a kid. Like, I would be incensed. I don't know how the L, the G, and the B aren't outraged at the T's. Because that's the genocide. The genocide on the L, the G, and the B. By the T's. They want to make everyone a T. Do you know? Look, we have a comment here. The lesbians that I know are butch, and they are upset about the trans thing because they say it shouldn't exist. Because they shouldn't exist. Well, here's the thing. Gay people are about 1%, right? The trans are like 1% of 1%. Now, let's say within all gays, the activists are 1%. So what the media is doing is the media only gives coverage to the activist, but they never, ever, they never put the opposing view. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of these transition cases that don't get into the media. They only cover how happy the transitioners are. There's a lot of people who transitioned and committed suicide, an alarming rate. Like the largest study on transitioning, all it shows is that they are more likely to commit suicide. I said, you're killing lives. You're hurting people. If you don't let them transition, they're going to kill themselves. No, if I let them transition, they're far more likely to kill themselves. The suicide rate, if you let them transition at a young age, is astronomical when you compare it to the rate if you don't let them transition at an early age. And usually if you don't let them transition at an early age and you wait till they're 18, they get to the 18 and they say, nah, I don't want that. I found out I'm just gay. I found out I'm just a lesbian. I don't want that. I'm just bi. And you know what? A lot of bi people end up going straight. They like a lot. Like people are getting sick of this. This is why the Democrats are now leading on immigrants, because they lost the black vote, they lost the Latino vote, and they're losing the gay vote. It was only 1%, but they're losing that too. Being trans wasn't about ideology not so long ago, and there used to be a very big difference between trans and drag queen. Drag queen used to be like more, not a big difference, right? Because there are trans people that were drag queens. But when you're a drag queen, you're announcing this is a caricature, right? I'm not embarrassed that you recognize me as a man. I'm showing it off. That's the difference between a drag show and a person that, like a good example is Blair White. Let me see if I can show you Blair White. This is Blair White. This is her. This is Roseanne. This is Blair White. This is her here. This is her. Right? You see how the makeup isn't exaggerated? You see? She's a conservative, by the way. Now, what they're trying to do, yeah, I'll follow her. What they're trying to do is turn gender dysphoria, and this is like a medical thing, kind of, where you don't feel like you're in the right body, and, you know, and all these things. And they're confusing that, and they're turning that into pretending that that's the same as being gay, that that's the same as being a drag queen. And these are very different things. That's a problem I see there. Let me look at my headlines. I don't want to forget. We talked about the Colombia. We have to talk about the AI hacking. Okay, this is Visegrad. Says Chinese hacker carried out first fully autonomous AI cyber hack against a foreign government targeting Taiwan. Using open source AI agents, the attackers independently conducting reconnaissance search for vulnerabilities and adapted tactics over 4 days in early July. They compromised at least 85 accounts, stole more than 2,500 employee records, and expanded the attack to Taiwan's nuclear safety agency and energy companies. The use of simplified Chinese in communication points to a PRC connection. Well, there you go. Apparently, I'm also talking about this. Now, I do follow a channel on this called Taiwan Talks. I want to know if they have something on this. You guys can subscribe to this. I like to watch it for their coverage. I haven't been able to watch it a lot lately. Let me see. Marie says, I was a tomboy growing up. I phased out of that by age 12. Yeah, that's very young. That's before you have that kind of thoughts even around. I became more feminine, but I wasn't confused about my gender. It was in the 90s. Yeah, this thing wouldn't fly in the 90s. You would just be considered normal. I'm not seeing anything about the AI attack here. These people tend to be pretty good. Let me check in. This appears to have broken very recently, so there's not a lot of news on it beyond what I showed you guys. Okay, we can watch a little bit of drone footage of the Colombia earthquake. I might watch that in a little bit. This is the China Observer, another channel that I check for this kind of thing. And its rice is over. History's garbage time, right? Only 30 days left. Hong Kong is no longer safe. This is a problem with passports that Taiwanese tend to travel between China and back, but because there's tension, sometimes it's dangerous. The opening 13 gates to the Three Gorges Dam flooded a lot of cities. These guys had a very, very strong typhoon. So I like to keep tabs. You guys can watch this channel too. I'm just going to throw you some stuff in here. I know basically I'm supposed to be competing with these people for news, but I mean, I don't care. These are good people, right? This guy, China Uncensored, this motherfucker is a tireless worker, right? So like he's been against these bastards for a very long time. He doesn't get enough credit. A lot of good. This is still very different than what I saw from. I wonder why all the roofs are not cement. I don't know if that helps. But in Puerto Rico, all our roofs are concrete. There's a lot of buildings here that nothing happens to them. This is more organic construction. You understand what I mean? This is not a type of construction that's state organized. You can tell it's very organic. Just the buildings are so different. This one here looks very dangerous. And this is obviously a state building. But it's not, it doesn't look like tofu drag. You understand what I'm saying? Oh shit. Okay. This is where I was. See how this all stayed solid? And that's like a big, like the construction, as bad as the governance has been in Colombia, they have been keeping construction local. Like this isn't tofu drag. Venezuela had a lot of tofu drag. Like look at this big building. Yeah, it had a little damage. Its size. Why? Okay, let me read what you guys are saying. Do you ever watch Epoch Times? I might. Okay. You got Betty Johnson here. You got Charlie Kirk. Final hours, heal the dirt. The framing of Charlie Kirk is what? Remarks on Supreme Court. Race-based policies.
South Africa moved from one race policies. So destructive policy framework is the first.
You're not just talking about whites.
Yeah, so firstly, South Africa is visible, and the solution, we would say, is to rethink the political system in South Africa.
When it comes to minorities being targeted, you're not just talking about whites.
Yeah, so firstly, South Africa is very big.
I don't know where, but I've heard him before. He must have interviewed someone recently. Are these just a lot of interviews?
Charlie is a
Okay. You got me. You got me. God bless all the people who have no homes. Oh, wait, let me move the mic a little. God bless all the people who have no homes right now. Relief efforts are going to be through the roof. At at least the next decade. You know, you say that, right? But what we have seen is that when we looked at the rate of earthquakes, it's about normal. Oh, another recommendation here. High Turbine says Epoch Times special interviews are very good, but the regular daily reporting can be a bit wanting for clarity and contextual details. So it's very surface. Okay. American thought leaders is exceptional. Maybe that's what I saw. Like, I feel like I saw an interview with them and someone. This you see that? How it's already a little forward? Like I already saw some of this. You guys see that little bar there? I knew I recognized his voice.
Understand how these operations went down.
We did
This is the
joint
interview.
operational raids in all of these areas, and then we to assist those while we're doing. We can talk about that later.
I knew I recognized him. I just knew I recognized him. Haha. I knew I recognized him. I knew it. This has a little bit more detail. Suspected China-linked hackers have carried out what research described as the first fully autonomous cyber attack on a foreign government. This is using open source artificial intelligence tools to breach Taiwanese government websites and critical infrastructure. These attackers assembled an autonomous hacking platform from publicly available AI agents, frame networks known as Hermes and OpenClaw. Sounds like herpes. Over 4 days in early July, the system deployed as many as 8 agents at once. These agents mapped 21 government systems, reached vulnerabilities, adapted tactics whenever blocked, and moved through the network with minimal human steering. It's a problem. What I like to call a problem. Delcy was forced to open the U.S. corridor in the frontier with Colombia, where the U.S. is doing joint operations with Colombia, and will send the drones to eliminate the guerrilla. So this border is now not a place where people can escape. This is the guy, Yosef Mizrahi.
He says it's pure stupidity, besides the evilness. It's pure, to be a racist, it's pure stupidity, besides the evilness. It's pure stupidity. Why? It's like you're going to an art gallery of the greatest artist in history. You name him, whatever his name is. And he has 20 paintings on the wall. Each one of them is tens of millions of dollars. And you say to the artist, I hate that painting. This one I like, but this one's terrible. Ugh. Can you imagine a bigger insult to the artist to say such thing? That's basically what you say to Hashem. I don't like this creature that you made. I don't like his color, I don't like his look, I don't like his nationality. That means I disagree with your creation. I know better. Next time consult with me, I'll tell you who to make, who not to make. What model to make, what model not to make. It's stupidity. Besides the fact that all the people that are racist, if you pay attention to how stupid they are, they generalize in everything in life. Someone did something bad to them. Let's say he was black. All black people are thieves. A Jew didn't give him enough love. All Jews are racist. Somebody, from Texas said to him, don't bring this next to me. All the Texas people are arrogant. Stupidity. You just had a bad experience with this black guy. 5 minutes later, the next black guy is an angel. How are you going to explain it? Good or bad is not determined by your color or by where you were born or what kind of language you speak. It's stupidity to think these things. There are righteous people.
Oy vey, I like this guy.
And there are wicked people. There are merciful people and there are evil people. In all nationalities and in all races, there are good and bad. Therefore, people have to finally understand that. Therefore, they cannot generalize. You can't say, oh, all these people, I don't like them. And this kind of people, I don't like them. Why? Because you had 1 or 2 bad experience with 1 or 2 of them. Now you put an X on the whole nation. Stupid. Stupid.
I like this guy. I like that message. He was on it. I don't know.
Last show, he took a part of my lecture, as he likes to do. They all became obsessed with me, all these nights. So he took a part of my lecture, even though they cut the sentence. They took out the first word. Look how they manipulate the words. I say some goyim are stupid. All they care about is sport and vacation and food, and they don't care where we're going to end one day. They took out the word some, and they just show, goyim are stupid, the entire meaning of the sentence. Not to talk about that I speak the same exact thing about stupid Jews that don't care about their future and where they're going to end, as we just did 5 minutes ago. And I did it thousands of times. They just show what they want people to see. And they fix it based on what they want to spread. But anyway, after he put what I say, all they care about sport and food and this and enjoy the moment, he said, I agree with him. We goyim are stupid. It's time we learn for the Jews to think about where we're heading. Even this guy, he sees that what we speak over here is the truth. Take out his desire to get rating and to be more famous and to get attention. Okay, so they play games. But I promise you, if you connect them to a lie detector, they know that every word I ever say is 100% the truth. If they have to gamble on their life, if it's true or false, they will all write 100% true. I'm telling you, you can see from their body language, by the way. I challenge him for debate. He's afraid, but not only him. Tucker is afraid. Megyn Kelly is afraid. Candice is afraid. And Joe Rogan is not responding. And Patrick, the only one who responded is Patrick Ben David, which I heard is a good guy. He's different than them. He's not Nazi or an anti-Semite. And he actually wanted to do it, but so far nothing. So let's wait. But all the other ones that speak against the Jews and against the Torah, they know that once they will sit with me, that will be the end of their career. They know it. That's why they're afraid.
Yeah, I like this guy. I like this guy. I subscribe this like as the closest thing I could find to him was Need More Amalek. Because I can't find like there we go. I subscribe to this guy, but I don't know if this is his I'm sorry, if this is his channel or he's just, you know, someone who reposts him. Okay, this just in after President Trump made the U.S. Export-Import Bank profitable for the first time in close to a decade. 47 is allocating $25 million for the development of a graphite plant in Alabama. You know who's probably very happy about this? Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot his name. He's a guy on Timcast. What's his name?
Elon.
Remember.
This is my.
This guy's one of my favorite, Phil Labonte. He's cool. It's this guy right here. Does anybody remember this guy's name? It's kind of like a hippie. Can't remember his name. Yeah, Tim has been against the vaccine for a long time. Oh my God. Ian! Yes! Thank you. Ian, that's the guy. That is the guy, Ian. Yeah, he is super annoying, but he loves graphene. So, and he invests in it. And I think Temple did too. So this is going to make their stock go up. He says, you guys think Ian is kooky and crazy, and he kind of is. But whatever he invests in turns to work out.
I hate this fucking country so much. You can be on a fucking mountain in the middle of Norway and get better internet than Los Angeles, California.
This is okay. This is Laura Lumen trolling because they're doing a thing where they're taking people who abuse animals, and because he did it to a couple of dogs on screen, he's like, quote, he's like, okay, this is like, he's like trying to refer him to the federal prosecution for abusing animals. It's very likely. Oh, they like to kiss it because Mohammed stepped there? That's so retarded. That's idolatry, by the way.
Every second of stop having people scroll through every second of my show trying to find me mispronouncing words, calling out Candace Owens, and waiting for her to make a mistake so they can try to delegitimize every effort that she is making to get to the bottom of this thing. Legitimatize, people were just trying to delegitimize why the crime scene was immediately paved over and the soil was excavated. This caricature of Candace Owens, there has been so much toxicity. All the toxicity. I am saying this in its true denotative meaning. It is a biennial joint military operation. Sex slave was hired by music mogul. The Ukrainians now have yachts. They've got shallots in Switzerland. The IDF even dropped napalm. Candace, have you had a chance to see the Michael biopic yet? I wanted to see the Michael biopic. Wield a cutlass, the machete, with such flourish, like fruit of the loom. Apparently, there was no cornucopia. I am so very disappointed in Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and Pam Bondi, who all made these grandiose promises. Many people within the White House believe that it was staged as well because of some other security protocol anomalies that took place that night. And we're going to say we're not going to be isolationists because we're just going, when are we allowed to just be isolationist? We're going isolationist. Us having any shred of moral decency and upset about that somehow makes us monstrous. You know, this monstrosity was a part of the monstrosity. The monstrosity, it really wakes you up to the monstrosity.
This woman is retarded.
And a CEO and a chairman has to compartmentalize. If you can't compartmentalize, there's a philosophy class called Senior Sem, and he used to come in every day with a debacle. Taylor Swift was somehow involved in this entire debacle. The Kanye West debacle, Christ is King debacle, the Christ is King non-debacle, Jeffrey Epstein, this whole debacle, Epstein debacle, and him wanting to move on from the Epstein debacle, the FISA debacle, Hamptons debacle, whole debacle, and that whole debacle, entire debacle. We knew a kerfluffle happened as this dress kerfluffle causes this whole race kerfluffle, a serious kerfluffle.
Oh my God.
I did not grow up in a Prince household beyond a couple of his major hits, namely Raspberry Beret, retired Green Beret, to do it again posthumously, posthumous, what did I say? Posthumously instead of posthumously. And so I'll give you an analogy, or actually an anecdote, not even an anecdote, a little anecdote. Everybody uses the terminology blitz, blitzkrieg. Blitz means lightning. Krieg means war. A blitzkrieg, God, no, he just liked the architecture. He loved the architecture. It was about the architecture. He loved the architecture and the architecture. In ways that you can honor Charlie. Stop telling us that it has to always be Miss Macabre. Became and this is correct, an adolescent psychiatric nurse. Obligatory. Does the obligatory, doing the obligatory. We're obligatory. Tyler Boyer then jumped.
Wait a minute. Isn't that how you say obligatory? Obligatory. Okay. I get it now. Obligatory. No, I thought I was like, wait a minute. Am I saying it wrong? No, I get it now.
And this is correct, an adolescent psychiatric nurse. Obligatory. Does the obligatory, doing the obligatory. We're obligatory. Tyler Boyer then jumped into the foray. And Alex Jones jumped into the foray. Tracy Martin, Erica's dear, long 15-year friend, jumped into the foray. And because these chips are made with real food, they are more satiating. Much more satiating. You
know, I used to know a lady like this. She was a stripper, right? But she always was trying to sound like she was more sophisticated than she was. So she would use big words, say them wrong, and in the wrong context.
More satiating. They are more satiating. Towards the end of Obama, we started hearing all of this rhetoric. My rhetoric. The wisdom of Solomon, it came to be seen as an amulet or a talisman. Jews and that.
An omelet? No. An amulet. That's when you have an omelet in your amulet. An omelet.
Like medieval jewelry, like everything that we're learning about medieval jewelry is a lie. And there have been so many concerted attacks. Definitely am seeing a concerted attack, a concerted effort. Obviously.
You know, she needs, you know what she needs? She needs the Spanish alphabet. Do you know why? Because we put a little line on top of the word that has the force of pronunciation. And she doesn't. That's her problem. She doesn't know sometimes she just fucks the fucking whole word. Like the whole word is just wrong. But sometimes, well, she comes from Ebonics and apparently didn't learn right. Sometimes, like, it's just that she doesn't know where the force of pronunciation is.
It's pretty reminiscent. Yeah, it's eerily reminiscent. Is reminiscent.
She doesn't know that when these two words together, it's just an S, reminiscent. She doesn't know that.
It is reminiscent.
You think it's a sh? That's not how that works.
It's sounding a bit reminiscent, very reminiscent, so reminiscent. It's becoming very much reminiscent. Borough that has been corrupt. The borough of alcohol and tobacco, federal bureau investigation, FBI bureau, federal bureau, state bureau, or borough, the boroughs. What is the borough doing?
And she says it like burro, which means donkey. El burro.
All these bureaucrats, among bureaucrats, into the bureaucrats borough.
Where does she get reminiscent from? Because she doesn't know how these words go together.
Borough. Were you brought into an FBI bureau? Maybe he's being a little hyperbolic, being facetious, a little bit hyperbolic. I'm being hyperbolic, and hyperbolic, extremely hyperbolic. This
I don't know why she's licking bulls.
Okay, I'm probably being a little hyperbolic. You know, not trying to be hyperbolic.
How are you gonna like know where he goes and shit?
I'm being hyperbolic. The Matrix hates me. I will never win any more accolades. He handed all these accolades.
She gets the pina coladas.
Accolades. You certainly aren't going to win any accolades. The Hormuz Strait, Malacca, Japan, Gibraltar, I always say that wrong. Gilbert, you guys know.
What? Is she dyslexic?
You guys know what I'm trying to say there. It's
Gibraltar.
It's such a ridiculous way.
It's like an altar, but more Gibra. There's the regular altar, and there's the Gibraltar.
To try to delegitimize the research that we have done.
Jesus Christ. He has one where it's her going through all the theories. Let me see if I can find it. All the theories of why Charlie Kirk. Yeah, they're getting fact checked because they're making up what it is. He has one on here that is her going through every version of what really happened, of why they killed Charlie Kirk. But it's like so many versions. I'm going to have to go back to the top. And to media. Got to be around here. Here it is. I think this
Charlie
is
informed people at Turning Point, as well as Jewish donors and a rabbi, that he had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause outright. He wanted to bring me, Candace Owens, back because he was standing up for himself. And then did he, just 48 hours later, conveniently catch a bullet to the throat before our onstage reunion.
Okay, so they killed Charlie Kirk so they couldn't get together again because she was going to tell him to get away from the Jews. Okay.
Could happen. Whether or not Charlie's assassination was meant to distract us from the Brigitte Macron investigation.
Okay, no, so it wasn't about stopping their reunion. It's about the Brigitte Macron lawsuit. She is it.
And rightfully so. That is a fair question. Because as you guys know, it was Charlie Kirk that called me and told me that they wanted me to stop speaking about Brigitte.
Yes, because it's retarded. But they killed him because, you know, let me go back a little bit. What?
Brigitte Macron investigation, and rightfully to distract us from the Brigitte Macron investigation. And rightfully so. That is a fair question. Because as you guys know, it was Charlie Kirk that called me and told me that they wanted me to stop speaking about Brigitte. What the hell was Charlie Kirk doing in Korea? If I had to today give you my best guess as to why Charlie Kirk was assassinated, it's because an offer came to him to become the next moon. And you just turn the other way. Don't ask.
Become the next moon. Okay. Korea wants him to become the next moon.
Questions about where the money's coming from or how you're getting the money. Just keep things afloat. Because, you know, why not? If Moon could help the CIA traffic.
Okay, so Moon is trafficking?
In the name of the Lord. Why couldn't Charlie Kirk's organization do that?
So they wanted Charlie Kirk's organization to human traffic Korean sex slaves.
I think this is what Charlie Kirk turned down. And the one...
And they killed him because he didn't want to do it.
One person who stood between America's involvement with a full-scale war in Iran was Charlie Kirk, 31.
Because Charlie Kirk was going to stop the war in Iran. Okay.
Year-olds, he's the person that's stopping us from getting what we want. It is my personal belief that that is the very reason that they colluded to have that obstacle eventually removed. Was Charlie Kirk murdered by the state, the deep state, to protect Epstein's global...
Oh, they killed him over Epstein. Okay.
...trafficking network? Is it fair to ask if it's plausible that when Charlie was taken to the Hamptons, the phone call no one wants to address from
Because no one can confirm this call. You made it up.
Bibi Netanyahu, is it fair to ask the question if it was literally supposed to be me who was supposed to be back on tour with Charlie?
Okay, so they killed him because they didn't want him to be on tour with Candace.
Did he say no to killing Candace Owens?
Oh, no, because he didn't want to kill Candace Owens. Because Israel wanted to kill her. And they asked Charlie. Charlie said no, so they killed him.
And then did he become a liability because he said no?
Bro, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? Okay.
Want to know why? It was established by white people. And
you go back to
blue people lived. That's why.
If you go back to the original founding fathers, they intended this to be a European nation for white men of good stock and character.
Can you show me where in the United States Constitution it says that?
It wasn't in the Constitution.
It wasn't in the Constitution because they didn't believe it.
This isn't what I'm looking for. He took an anti-Semite apart, but I can't find it right now.
Government.
That's not a secret, Charlie.
Well, no, I find it hilarious that
all of Trump's cabinet is Jewish. Israel did 9/11, Charlie.
Oh, they did. Wow.
Why are we in the middle? I served. Why were we in the Middle East?
So if Israel did 9/11, help me understand this. Who were the hijackers of the planes?
They weren't hijackers.
Oh,
CIA and Israel worked together.
No. Explain to me what happened on the aircraft.
Okay, first off, what we have to understand, there's only one plane that actually crashed.
No,
okay,
there were three.
No, the buildings imploded. World War II was...
Okay, that's just a little too much. Oh my God.
Which rots the brain and destroys the soul. How would you say is a domestic prescription to quell and defeat this rise in Jew hate, which rots the brain and destroys the soul?
Hardcore anti-Semitism is just so sort of irrational and not rooted in reality that, I mean,
it rots the brain. And the more they understand Islam, the better Israel looks too. They have no idea what Israel's up against, right? Which is these Islamic barbarian monsters.
Yeah.
which everyone, no one wants to say out loud. How would you say is a domestic prescription?
Do you see?
Elon Musk and less Elon Omars.
That's just funny. Can't show that. I want to go back to one at the start that I saw. I'll try to find it for later.
Western civilization. Fundamentally, Islam is at war with freedom of speech, with freedom of worship, with freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, and separation of mosque and state.
I just like reverent people. And anyone who bows down before God and admits I'm not God 5 times a day doesn't share my theology. We don't have the same view of how you get to heaven. But that person is not by definition my enemy.
Individual Muslims can be great members of American society. We all know them. But in the macro, in the big picture, are we really benefiting the more that we are importing Islamists into the West? I say no.
The Christian worldview, and by the way, also the Muslim worldview, is a universal worldview. Anybody can come to this faith. That's my worldview. I was born into it. I believe it. It's sincere. And so anyone else who has that worldview, I'm willing to be friends with.
The tragic truth of far too much Muslim immigration to the West. You see it in Rotterdam, you see it in Paris, you see it in London, you see it across Germany, is that the Islamist world does not assimilate well to the Western world. In fact, they create their own pockets of no-go zones. They try to take over city halls. You can see evidence in London and Rotterdam. They try to create own areas of their kind of Sharia-type law and radical Islam.
Well, I've done years in coverage.
Okay, let me see. Joshua says people don't know this goes back to Genesis in the Bible. Okay, so here's the thing. In America and most of Europe, it's not the Jews or the Christians or in all over the world that are trying to marry and have sex with 9-year-olds or 12-year-olds. The majority, I mean, I'm sure there's exceptions, but the grand majority of Christians and Jews don't want that, don't even like it. I would say would put those people in jail, right? So this is one of the things. And we used to do stonings, right? The Christians used to, the Jews used to stone people. But they don't do that anymore. And the ones that converted don't do that anymore. The problem is that these people are trying to keep those old laws and put them in the UK and the US. Oh, you already know. You already know. You already know. Yes, you already know. I'm sorry, you already know this. Britain has 26 Sharia courts. Yes, Joshua already knows what's up. I was trying to like explain, but you already know. Well, Muslims worship Satan. You think Muslims worship Satan? Is that what you believe? You believe Muslims worship Satan. What if I told you I have an article about that? Islam, the synagogue of Baal, also known as Baal. This is the Kaaba. Right? And this is I did a Ba'allah. Baal, Ba'allah. We call him Satan, the deceiver. They call him the best deceiver or the best of liars. But I did a thesis, right? And a report. The purpose of this report, thesis and purpose of the report, because it's an investigative report at an academic level. I did everything. I talked to academics, like literal academics in this field, and I took it to various people so they could, see it, right? So this is my article that I published, and I would like to share it with you because you seem to be interested. So this is my article. Here we go. I'm going to share it with you. I hope you like it, Joshua. I hope you like it. This is for you. And for anyone, really, where I go into the historical lineage and the roots, I go into the methods and sources, but then how Molech is, Baal Hamon in the Punic inscriptions. Molech sacrificed to Baal Hamon. How Baal Hamon becomes Hubal and the Kaaba. Baal Hamon comes to Hubal and the Kaaba. This is through the work of Ibn al-Kalbi, who was like a historian of the time. These is in the Book of Idols. The greatest of these idols was Hubal, who stood inside the Kaaba. Hubal inside the Kaaba. This is before Muhammad. Huba'Allah was in the Kaaba. Molech, yes. But they remember Mecca's pretty far, so they transported it there. Right? So the physical description is here. Artistic reconstructions, red agate material, greatest of the Kurish idols. Broken right hand replaced by gold. Verified from the Book of Idols, etymology, Hubal, Huba'al, he is Baal. Huba'Allah. Academic references on Hubal, Allah, and the Kaaba. So I have all the references. Hubal, Allah, and the Allah in pre-Islamic Meccan practice. Like, I put it all there. I made this for you guys and for the world, really. The continuity of the Kaaba's ritual practice, they still keep going around it, still kiss the rock. Modern ritual continuity with infant martyrdom. They still sacrifice infants to jihad and symbolic offerings. They still use them as shields and declare them martyrs. Biblical parallels. In Judge mentions the crescent ornaments of the Midianites. The enemy that in Judges mentions crescent ornaments of the Midianites. In Numbers, the Midians, Israel, lead Israel into Baal. The Midianites, with their crescent ornaments, lead Israel into Baal worship, Baal, Ba'allah. In 2 of Kings, they brought out the sacred stone from the temple of Baal, the sacred stone, and burned it. They demolished it, the sacred stone of Baal, and tore down the temple. Well, they rebuilt. Expanded biblical parallels. 3 recurring elements: crescent ornaments, association with an Eniakim, Moabite seduction of Israel into worship of Baal of Peor, and biblical, like it's all here. I put it all here for you guys. Baal, Northwest Semitic, he is Baal. Hubal, Arabian form. Allah, fusion of Arabic Allah, the God. He is Baal. The title absorbed, supreme deity. This is the final chain. Baal Hamon, punic description. Molek Baal Hamon. Baal Hamon Hubal, Allah, Ibn al-Kalbi. These are the historians that prove this line that, yeah, this was the etymology. Hubal and Allah. This is proved by Al-Azraqi, Al-Tabiri, Hiti, and Finnegan Braswell. These are the historians, the people that documented all this to be true. Conclusion: the section report supports reports core claim that Molek Baal, Hubal, Allah, and Allah come from a connected evidentiary chain. Within that thesis, Islam is argued to prefer the ancient Semitic Baal pattern, and the Kaabas are argued function as the synagogue of Baal. Ibn al-Kalbi, like this is all the historic change. Allah as the deceiver in the Quran. Several verses in the Quran describe Allah as using a Arabic root makr, or scheme, deceive, plot. In the Quran, and the disbeliever scheme makur, and Allah scheme makur, and Allah is the best of schemers. And remember, and those who disbelieve plotted yamakura against you, but they plot, and Allah plots, and Allah is the best of plotters. And whatever that word is. No, translation usually soften makr as plan or scheme, but the root classical Arabic in parallel Semitic language means cunning, guile, deceit. So there's like, no, it means plan. Bullshit. I put it all here for you guys. Took me a lot of work, months. I worked on this for months. So anyway, there's the article. I'm going to post it again in case you guys like it. I hope you do. And, you know, in case of you guys who are on Liberty Politics, want to follow me, this is my link. I'm up to 840. I'm hoping I can get to 845. The person who could make this into a book is called Raymond Ibrahim. If you guys want to show it to him, that's fine. Just say it's an academic investigative report on the roots of Uba Allah. If you guys want to talk to him, like it's my dream to give it to him someday, but I don't think I'm at the level where he's going to pay any attention to me. But if I grow my channel, if I start doing good work, then by my fruits I will be known. Right? Imperfect I am, but if I do good, then by my fruits I will be known. See high turban and say, what would you expect from a religion, quote unquote, whose prophet, quote unquote, the pedophile, pederast, sodomite, and intellectuality, who had a reprobate mind and got jealous of beheading people. Yeah, he's Muhammad sucks. We all know this. Where can I look at that? That's my Twitter. This is my Twitter. And this is the link. I'll share it again. No, that's my channel. Let me get my Twitter. Here it is. Islam. Well, I'll give it a like too. Why not? Let me retweet it. Why not? He sucks in more than one way. Oh, someone remembers the night of falsehood. This is the article. It's in the article section of my Twitter. But I'm going to go now. I'm a little bit over time. But before I go, I want to tell you all, bless you all. Bless your health. Bless your wealth. Bless your plans. Bless your loved ones. Bless your family. Bless your homes and everything you touch. Peace.